Welcome to our workplace, a surface mining operation. Although each quarry or surface mine is different from each other, they are alike in many respects. Because health and safety is our #1 concern, we are going to identify and talk about some of the potential hazards found in this working environment. Throughout this program, we'll refer to gypsum quarries, but the safety and health ideas and workplace hazards apply to all surface and underground mining operations. First thing, let's find out who you are. Are you a new employee? If you are, you definitely need to learn about all the hazards found on mine property. Are you an experienced miner? You might recognize some of the hazards, but this program will help you review, maybe even rethink some of your activities in this unique workplace. Maybe you have recently changed job responsibilities. A new job could very well introduce you to new health and safety hazards not found at your last assignment. No matter what your experience level, this program will help you and your coworkers better understand what you need to do to be safe. Gypsum ore, or gypsum rock, formed as calcium sulfate deposits in vast inland seas millions of years ago during the age of the dinosaurs. Naturally occurring gypsum rock is found in deposits throughout the world. Gypsum is sometimes known as plaster of Paris because one of the largest known deposits is below the city of Paris, France. Gypsum is beneficial in a variety of ways. It is used primarily to manufacture gypsum board, also known as drywall or wallboard. However, gypsum is also approved by the Food and Drug Administration as an additive to food, drink, cosmetics, medicines, and other consumer items. It is used as the main ingredient in plaster casts used to set broken bones. Gypsum is indeed the miracle mineral. This video has been designed to examine the safety measures found at surface and underground mining operations. Methods and equipment used for extracting gypsum rock vary among the quarries. Some quarries use jumbo drills, and some use explosives to blast the gypsum rock loose. Loaders, trucks, track, conveyors, and ships are used to transport gypsum to the board plant. Uncovering, blasting, loading, hauling, dumping, and crushing means you need to learn all aspects of your job to be able to recognize hazardous conditions that may be associated with it. You are expected to obey all the safety rules, safe work procedures, and company safety policies. Awareness of the work environment, good accident prevention procedures, and regular equipment maintenance can help to minimize hazardous conditions. Hazards that are identified but can't be safely or properly handled by you, or that are beyond your authority and qualifications, must be reported to your immediate supervisor on site as soon as possible. Never take unnecessary chances, risky shortcuts, or indulge in horseplay that is contrary to common sense, company policy, or any safe work practice. You are responsible for your safety as well as the safety of all other workers in your vicinity. Safety rules and company procedures must be observed by everyone all the time. You must do your part to work safely. It's your positive attitude towards safety that establishes and maintains a safe and healthy working environment. So, whether you're a seasoned worker, new employee, visitor, contractor, or vendor on a new job at your mine, we need to review the basics of hazard recognition. Let's start with transportation. Always use 3-point contact when mounting or dismounting equipment. Once you get to your workplace, you may encounter various potential hazards, such as unsafe or loose ground. A ground failure can occur any time you have piled or moved earth, and it can happen quickly without warning. Loose material should be recompacted or graded. You need to visually inspect your workplace prior to starting work for cracks or partings in the ground and wet areas after a rain or snowstorm. Your supervisor should decide how it is to be corrected. Many of the tasks that you will be assigned will involve handling materials. Each time you do any lifting or carrying, You risk the possibility of an injury. Back injuries are very common and painful injuries, and are usually caused by lifting from an awkward or off-balance position, or twisting, reaching too far, or lifting objects that are too heavy. To lift safely, follow these basic procedures. Inspect the load before you attempt to lift it. Tuck your chin in. Keep your back straight, shoulders up and back, and bend your knees. As you lift objects, keep them as close to you as possible, and be careful of sharp edges, and lift with your whole hand, not just your fingertips. Keep your elbows and arms tucked in close to your body. You lose strength if held away from your body. Most importantly, lift with your legs instead of your back. Make certain that the load you are carrying does not block your vision. And turn your entire body by moving your feet in the direction you are going. Don't twist. Now let's talk about slips, trips, and falls. Conditions that can lead to slips and falls are common. Mine sites are full of uneven ground, construction obstacles, awkward steps, and slippery conditions affected by the elements. When using ladders or mounting and dismounting equipment, use the 3 points of contact method. This means 2 hands, 1 foot, or both feet, 1 hand, and when necessary, get additional help. When working in high places, guardrails or fall protection must be used. Practice good housekeeping. Clean up any spills or debris that might cause someone to slip, trip, or fall. One of the easiest ways to prevent accidents is for everyone to practice good housekeeping. Your workplace should not be cluttered. Pick up tripping hazards, clean up spills, and take time to help create a safe work environment. Another hazard that you must recognize involves haulage equipment and the possibility of being struck or run over by moving vehicles. If you operate any machinery, you need to perform a complete pre-operational examination. You should be alert as to where haulage equipment may be headed, and don't forget these vehicles often move in both directions. Don't forget operators can't see everywhere, and the larger the vehicle, the larger the blind spots. Intersections pose a serious hazard, so follow all company safety procedures. It's a good practice to use caution. Slow down, sound the horn, and don't assume the right-of-way. Make yourself highly visible. Never get on or off a moving vehicle. You might think you're saving time, but in the end, you could be losing a lot more. Your job or your life. When parking a vehicle, put it into low gear. Lower all raised parts to the ground. Shut off the engine and set the parking brake. Some companies require additional procedures such as turning the wheels and chocking the tires. When working near machinery, be alert. Even stationary equipment has moving parts. Any equipment that has to be in a raised position for repairs or maintenance must be securely blocked. Never leave equipment unattended in a raised position. When you're repairing equipment, use the tool that was designed for the job and keep your tool in good condition and properly stored when not being used. Don't walk in tight areas between quarrying equipment, and make certain the operator knows where you are at all times and acknowledges your presence. Personal protective equipment is required, so follow all procedures at your mind regarding hard hats, safety glasses, gloves, safety shoes with soles designed for good traction, hearing protection, and respirators and fall protection. Know your company's safety policies in regard to loose clothing practices. Since some quarry operations require the use of high voltage electrical power, it is important that you know how to identify electrical hazards and to follow appropriate procedures to avoid them. When work is being done on electrical equipment or near energized conductors, always shut the power off and lock out the power to the equipment at its source. And attach a danger tag. This quickly shows that the circuit is de-energized and should not be turned on until the work is completed and the lock removed. Electrical shock occurs when you become part of the circuit by touching a bare wire or piece of short-circuited equipment. You may receive a shock or even be electrocuted if your body offers a path of least resistance to ground. Properly attached and maintained ground connectors provide the needed protection. Cables on the mine site should never be run over with equipment. Equipment operators should always be aware of the location of and be careful near cables. Most mine sites are noisy, so you need to protect yourself. Your mine site has a hearing conservation program established and uses engineering controls as a first line of defense. There are different types and levels of noise, and you need to properly protect your hearing. Mine personnel will monitor areas of concern, and all workers will be informed of and provided with the proper protective equipment needed in different work areas. So use them. Wear them properly. It's hard to enjoy nature and your grandchildren if you can't hear them. Your mine site also has a HAZCOM program. Many products such as solvents and cleaners have hazardous components that can harm you. You need to understand how chemicals can enter the body, the routes of entry. As a mine employee, you need to understand the contents of chemical labels and MSDSs, or material safety data sheets, as well as how to interpret the technical terms found on MSDSs. Proper storage of dangerous chemicals is for everyone's safety. This video has been an overview of the basics of health and safety hazard recognition of many of the operations at a mine site. Your mine's education and training program will cover many of these topics in much more detail and inform you of specific policies at your mine. Remember, you, the miner, are the key ingredient in safety.